The Supreme Court of Ghana, which is the highest law body in the country, have ordered for Honorable Kennedy Agyapong's contempt case to be transferred to a different judge. Honorable Kennedy Agyapong and the High Court have been going back and forth because of some comments he made on his TV station Netu somewhere this year, where he made some derogatory statements against some High Court judges. The High Court dragged Kennedy Agyapong to court. Mr. Kennedy later issued an unqualified or rendered an unqualified apology. Nevertheless, he was still dragged to the High Court. The case, which was sat on or presided by Justices Bafuboni Yao Apao, Gabriel Piwamang, Amadou Tanko, and Yoni Kulendi, finally gave their verdicts that Mr. Amos Wuni must be taken off the case. Somewhere this year, when the case was taken to court, Mr. Wuni failed to give Kennedy Agyapong's lawyers a charge sheet which comprised of some allegations leveled against the Maverick MP and also politician. But Mr. Kennedy Agyapong's lawyers and counsel, Mr. Kwame Jan and Afenyo Markin, pleaded with the court to transfer the case to another court, which was the apex court, of course, the Supreme Court of Ghana, the highest court of the land. Let us quickly listen to Kennedy Agyapong's apology before we get into the stories.
Because if they put themselves in my shoes, why I overreacted. You see, on their platform, Omode, rate beer, and crowd the man can once. And to say judge, judge in Craminimo. Judge will be a maker Craminimo. In the personally, I was just attacking the substantive basis, a wrong procedure. But you say, Udi judge atema, what the court attempt, Udi court atema, what the chief justice attempt. In me and saying, I sincerely apologize to the judges. But
all right, so that was the apology of Mr. Kennedy Agyapong, apologizing to the judges of the High Court, saying that they can also put themselves in the shoes. Any human being would definitely react in the same way. Deputy Attorney General Godfred Yeboah Dami also told the Supreme Court that even though Mr. Kennedy Agyapong's comments were scandalous and then as a contempt against the High Court, he was also saying that the application should be considered, and of course the application has been considered. As I said early on, Justice Wuni has been prohibited from hearing the case. One allegation or one statement made by Kennedy Agyapong's lawyers was that one statement Justice Wuni made in the first court case was that you do not play with a live wire, referring to himself as a live wire who was going to electrocute Mr. Kennedy Agyapong. Before I continue on my stories and invite Big Brother onto the program, on say a very big thank you to Aseda Shipping Limited. Aseda Shipping Limited are in the United Kingdom, they are in Ireland, they are in Scotland, and of course they are in Wales as well. Do you need shipment? Do you need packages from and to any of these countries? I said that Shipping Limited are the people to contact, and then you'd have your delivery or your shipment within the shortest possible time. A lot of people are saying that because of politics, Mr. Kennedy Agyapong's party, which is the New Patriotic Party, are doing everything possible to keep Mr. Kennedy Agyapong out of prison. That is why Justice Wuni has been prohibited from further hearing the case. The cases are building up, and then we are trying to see if indeed another judge would sit on Kennedy Agyapong's case, because of course it's a contempt of law sitting on telly and then saying such words against high profile judges of the country, of course contributes to contempt of law. We were in this country in 2012 where Sir John was arraigned before court for some comments or some statements he also made on radio. So all I have with me, Big Brother, would go into the discussions, we'll deliberate on a few things, and then when we are back, we'll get into the discussions. Stick and stay. All right, people, we are back and we are still talking Kennedy Agyapong, we are talking Justice Wuni, we are talking the Supreme Court of Ghana, and we are talking the High Court, the contempt case leveled against that maverick politician. Big Brother here with me, we'll go into the discussions. Big Brother, welcome.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, so finally, the Supreme Court have given a verdict that Justice Wuni must be taken off the case regarding Honorable Kennedy Agyapong. Is it a step in the right direction?
Of course, it's a step in the right direction, because knowing the issue from start, I think Kennedy Agyapong insulted one of the High Court judges,
exactly,
who was being referred that Justice Wuni is a closest friend of that particular man.
Exactly.
So in case of taking that particular judge to be set up as the main judge in this particular trial, it will be a conflict of interest, of a personal interest, in whom the Justice Wuni will intend to punish Kennedy Agyapong in case of anything that he has done. So it was a step in a good direction just to take Justice Wuni off the case and bring in another judge for this particular case.
But don't you think it falls the rumors out there that the NPP party, because they're in government, are trying to do everything within their power to frustrate the justice system in Ghana?
I wouldn't say because they are in power. I wouldn't say because they are in power. You see, because Justice Wuni had a clear intention earlier that even before they end or they conclude this particular trial, he's going to punish, make sure that Kennedy Agyapong will be punished severely because of attributing an unsovereign word to that particular judge. And it doesn't speak well of Kennedy Agyapong, even as a whole of judges in Ghana.
So the judge shouldn't have used those words?
No,
not. Shouldn't have made his point clear?
His point clear, of course. The judge shouldn't have made that particular point clear because it is giving so many mind thoughts in people's mind that, okay, then this particular judge is going to use that particular adage to punish Kennedy very well. That is the reason why they changed him in setting up of this particular case.
Because in the first court case, the counsel for Mr. Kennedy Agyapong were saying that the justice used a statement and he said, if you play with a naked wire, it's going to electrocute you.
Of course.
Yeah, so Justice Wuni was referring to himself.
Justice Wuni was referring to himself because from knowledge of thoughts, I have had some report that he's a closest friend of the particular judge that Kennedy insulted earlier on. So he was taking the case personal to himself, that he's going to make sure that Kennedy Agyapong is going to put into his right direction. And I think that would be a conflict of personal interest in terms of judging this particular issue. And that was the main reason why the Supreme Court has ordered them to bring in another judge.
But even the Deputy Attorney General, Mr. Yeboah Damfe, saying that yes, Kennedy's comment was scandalous, and then it's a contempt of court any way, anyhow you look at it. So it once again falls the rumors that the NPP are trying to play it safe because Kennedy Agyapong is one big within the party, so they are just being political with the whole issue.
Of course. And this is one of the things that Ghanaians, as it stands now in this particular election era, we are all eyeing on this particular issue, because this has not been the first, this has not been the second. It has been a continual agenda.
Some people even draw comparisons to the Muntie 3.
Of course. And this is going to be a very clear comparison between the Muntie 3 and Kennedy Agyapong, in this particular reign of insult against the Supreme Court judge. Because for me, it should have gone into that particular perfect direction. Insulting Supreme Court judge is a way below belt, and I think they need to strategically deal with Kennedy Agyapong. If he is found guilty of this particular issue, he should be punished.
But when his party is in government, do you think he can strategically be dealt with? Because we saw what happened. We saw what happened with the Muntie 3, who even threatened the lives of some high-profile personalities.
Of course. When
it comes to the contest of law in this country, but even these people were given a pardon by the ex-president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So, do we see the same thing happening with Kennedy Agyapong?
I'm not saying the same thing happening with Kennedy Agyapong, but then if we're going to use separation of powers very well in this particular constitutional process, that the separation of powers talks about each of the three organs should work independently without any influence from any other
interference.
Any interference from any other branch of government. And that is what the judicial system should do in terms of handling this particular case.
So the judiciary should be left independently of the legislature. And the executive.
And they should handle this particular case very well, because it shouldn't be an interference of political, affairs, that because he belongs to the incumbent government, he should be given a state of free. No, he should be punished duly to what he has done.
All right, so the High Court is going to sit on the case sometime. The date hasn't come out yet, but then, of course, Justice Wuni has been taken off the case. Do you see Kennedy Agyapong going to jail?
Well, if it happens that Kennedy goes into jail, it's fine. If it happens that
he deserves to go to jail.
Because
he deserves to be made a perfect example.
Of course, because how can you ruin, you know, such insults to a Supreme Court judge, a high-level Supreme Court judge, that maybe if it might not be that you were having your money, like me and then what I say. So he should be punished in the right direction. But then if at the end of this particular trial, if it comes that Kennedy Agyapong is going to jail, fine. If it comes that Kennedy Agyapong is to be set free, well, we are all in the country looking forward for this particular conclusion of this trial.
Thank you, Big Brother, for passing through. So the stories are unfolding. It's getting quite interesting. People are drawing comparisons between the Muntie 3 and Kennedy Agyapong. Some people are even of the school of thought that should Kennedy Agyapong be taken to prison, is going to be given a presidential pardon, which will make the New Patriotic Party lose the moral argument they are having with the National Democratic Congress. We'll draw the curtains here on this program. Thank you very much for sticking and staying and watching this channel. This is GhPage, people. Subscribe to our channel on social media, of course, on YouTube. Follow us across social media: Facebook at GhPage News, on Instagram at GhPage News, on Twitter at GhPage_com. You can also visit our website www.ghpage.com. My name is Gypsum. You can call me your MC General.